what kind of queen will Gian be kung drag queen siya?
Parang siguro a mixture of Marina and Hanabeshi. If that makes sense.
Hindi ko re-replyan yung mga shoutout requests yung ngayon.
Kung ano naman, yung inaaway ito, yung aawayin to, pag nakita ko to. Walang hiya kayo! A burning question for a lot of fans. Kamusta kaya yung puso ni Gian?
There's this person na nag-inspire nung kwento na yun kahit hindi na maulit. Paramdam mo sa akin yung yakap mo kahit ngayong gabi lang. Wow.
Kinikilig ako. Pero piliin mo. Piliin mo yung sarili mo. Everything else will fall into place.
Thank you.
Hi everyone! Welcome to Evangelism with a new haircut. Yes, dahil very special ang ating episode today. Our guest today is one of the most iconic, is probably one of my favorite guests here in Evangelism. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Gian of Cup of Joe!
Hey guys! What's up?
Hi! Oh my God!
Thanks, Eva. Thank you so
Sabog!
much.
Kamusta?
Okay naman. Busy. Thankfully. Pero ayun, it's all for the love of arts, as always.
Of
Kaya,
course. I could only imagine. So, normally I start by asking my guests, like, what's your headspace coming here? It's like, how are you? How are you feeling at this very moment?
Ako, lately, I'm just, generally, I'm okay. Kasi, tuloy-tuloy yung ganap with Cup of Joe.
Yes.
Pero, meron din, syempre, part of me na nababurn out din at times.
Yeah.
Pero, excited ako dito sa podcast na to kasi bihira lang lately na makapag-air out ako ng mga emotions ko.
Wow.
It's good to be put in a space na safe ako, and I think this is a safe space for me.
Of course, it is. This is a safe space. Yeah. Let's sit comfortably. Like, normally we guest Drag Race girls here, and the people I invite here in this couch are my friends. So feel free, again, you can just share whatever you want to share with me, and we'll just chat like friends, right? So let's start with Gian. Okay, so Gian, how young are you?
23.
Ay, Diyos ko. Magmano ka sa akin.
That's all. Wait, ano ba? Nasa 20s ka pa rin, right?
Oh my God! Guys, I heard that. No.
No?
How young do you think I am?
Okay, so if not 20, siguro 31, 32. Correct?
I love it. No, I'm 38.
38? Tumiga na kala ko.
Di ba? Pwede na ako.
37. Binawasan.
Yes. Pero 38 na ako. 23, yeah. Oo nga, no? Parang si Kiana. Parang, bukod sa, parang nakikita ko si Kiana. Like, I hear it, na parang at 23, having achieved and still a lot to achieve at a young age. I'm sure you can feel that. So let's start off, Gian. You notably one of our representations in the mainstream. How do you identify?
I'm a pansexual man.
Pansexual man, right. Your pronouns?
He, him.
He, him pa din, right?
Yeah.
What do you mean pansexual?
Actually, yung times when I was trying to identify myself, sobrang naging mahirap din siya kasi nga we're in a country na hindi siya napag-uusapan.
Yeah.
Like, there's no law for everyone to be informed about Soji. Kaya nahirapan ako. Growing up, ang alam ko lang bakla, tomboy. Ganyan.
Yeah, yes.
So like, sobrang nakakalito siya at first. Pero ayun, I talked to a friend na maalam sa ganito. And I said na I get attracted more sa personality ng tao, and parang it goes outside the boxes of gender. So I could get attracted sa... ang weird. Pero kasi nung first year college ako, I had feelings sa friend kong lesbian.
Oh.
Pero hindi ko kasi alam na lesbian siya. So parang
right.
I developed feelings for her. Tapos yun, nung sinabi niyang lesbian siya, parang hindi nawala yung feelings.
Yes.
So parang I asked yung friend ko, paano pag ganito, ganyan, ganito, ganyan. So, ayan, pansexual daw. Like, you get
Oh.
attracted despite of their gender affiliations.
Right. And that much is what the essence of equality is. And parang gender is fluid.
Yeah.
Like the laws of attraction shouldn't have to be bound by gender. And I think being a pansexual is very beautiful kasi you see the person for who they truly are, yung depth nun. I think that's more meaningful than being attracted to what's on the outside or what's between their legs or
Right,
what's the, what are the chances you even reach that part, diba? So parang, yeah, pansexual. And which brings me to think nga, no, kasi whenever I see you on stage, you have this like colorful, ko para talagang, kayo para kang you're a sprinkle of glitter in that group. So is it your aesthetics when you go out? Is it intentional or
Parang mas namamagnify lang siya, I guess, if pag nagpo-perform. Kasi
yeah?
parang for me, performing is like, parang it feels like a superpower para sa akin. So like, I'm at my most free state pag nagpo-perform ako. So parang doon nagmamanifest yung pinaka Gian na expression, pinaka-Gian na transparency, ganyan. Pero yeah, most likely ganun din naman ako pag lumalabas. Pero like, kung sino yung nasa stage, feeling ko yun yung pinaka state ko na walang tinatago and all. So I'm just all out there. And thankfully and shockingly, ang ganda ng nagiging reception niya sa mga audience namin. Surprisingly.
Yeah. Kasi alam mo, like, in the show business, marami talaga doon that are, let's just say that they do not have the privilege to embrace who they truly are. So, they go on stage. For them, being on stage is a mask. And then they're acting, they're entirely something else. So, to see you, ikaw, yun pa yung pinaka-free state mo. We eat it, we love it. From the self-expression to the quality of your voice to the intensity of how you move. It's just so beautiful to watch. Diba? Na parang, we love it. Like, tama. For us drag queens, ganun din eh. Diba? Our superpower, we sobrang relate sa amin. So, dapat mag-drag name ka na.
Oo nga eh. Feeling ko
Yes.
kaya ako na-love yung drag din eh. Yeah.
Ah.
Kasi sa OPM industry, lalo na sa scene namin na boy band,
Yes.
parang built ang boy band na parang pag sinabing boy band, may isip mo talagang boy next door vibes,
Right.
ganito ganyan, masculine, ganito ganyan. And to be honest, nung nagsa-start kaming Cup of Joe, I tried to fit in sa ganong image. So, nung grade 12 kasi kami nag-start. So, senior high pa ako nun. And I was also exploring pa that time. So,
Right.
Nung nag-start kami, edi syempre, ganun nga, boy next door yung atake, One Direction, ganito,
Right.
ganyan. And then, nag-pandemic. And then, that was a time na I sat down with my thoughts. And then, na-feel ko na, okay, we're performing, we're making music, pero parang something's missing. Parang
Right.
meron pa ring empty void within me. And then, that was the time na I started to embrace who I really am. Tapos, we made a comeback sa music scene nung 2022.
Okay.
Ito na yung gumawa kami ng EP. It's entitled Patutunguhan.
Yes.
Tapos yung first single namin doon is called Mananatili.
Nananatili.
Uy, alam niya! Oh my God, kinilig ako. So yan, Mananatili. Ang concept kasi namin doon sa EP na yun is we wanted to give an old school OPM vibe. Na
Yeah.
parang disco retro.
Correct.
Infused with a modern sound. So like, it's like Apo Hiking Society meets Four of Spades. Parang ganun.
Okay.
And then, we were thinking kung paano namin ipepresent yung sarili namin this time for us to be mas makilala ba, ganyan.
Yeah.
And risky suggestion, pero sabi ko, I saw this show called Euphoria. You know Euphoria?
Yes.
And then, in terms of styling, ganito. Yung mga sparkle-sparkle,
Correct,
ganyan,
correct.
ganyan, ganyan. Tapos, parang napag-usapan namin yun ng bandmates ko na parang ano, no? Parang medyo out of the usual ba masyado? Kasi parang, we're a boy band tapos biglang very loud makeup tayo na sparkly tapos outfits na androgynous,
Correct.
feminine, ganto ganyan. Tapos thankfully parang nagustuhan naman ng bandmates ko. Sabi nila, sige tara G, wala namang mawawala eh. Parang hindi naman kami kilala para magkaroon ng backlash or something. So alright, G, na-excite ako. So, naging hands-on ako sa pag-curate ng mga outfits namin, ganito, ganyan. Tapos, yung thing na kinakatakutan namin, yun yung isa sa nagbigay sa amin ng edge.
Yeah.
So, parang, nung nagtuloy-tuloy yung mga performances namin nung 2023, ayun na, pag sinabi nilang Cup of Joe, uy, attend tayo ng Cup of Joe, maglagay tayo ng face gems, mag-eyeshadow tayo. So, it became a staple. And that helped me to embrace kung ano man yung mga gusto kong forms of expression.
Right.
And parang unti-unti na siyang naging safe space for me then. Kaya, ayun.
Yeah.
That was the gateway.
We loved men that are not bound by the usual of masculinity or like you're not scared. Apparently, you guys, I think generational din siya eh. Kumbaga, I think you are now in a generation talaga that embraces and knows the concept of, iba yung understanding you now of the concept of sexuality. Gone were the days na parang the machismo, yung rar, like, diba? And we love it. I think that a lot of the kids love it. And we loved it. Kasi ako, honestly, Cup of Joe didn't come across my vicinity until you guys, syempre drag queen, as a drag queen, di ba? Iba yung mundo, ang mundo namin, Beyonce, mga, talaga, mga pop divas.
Main pop girls.
Yeah, main pop girls talaga. It wasn't until you imagine the wave that you've created, that you've got so many queens, like myself included, is like really immersed in your music. Your music first, visual second. Kasi what you stand for is like, yeah, oh my gosh, parang kang Chappelle Roan ng kayo yung Chappelle Roan ng OPM. Like, you're breaking stereotypes.
Oh, thank you. So, na-form kami nung senior high school kami, grade 12.
Okay. Ilan taon yung grade 12? Kasi ako, hindi ko na inabutan yung K to 12.
Grade 12.
Grade
Para siyang
12.
second year college.
I mean, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
18
Sa-
na, di ba?
Yeah, 17 ako.
17, 18, yeah.
mga ganun.
Okay, right.
So, ayun. Na-form kami kasi ako and yung co-vocalist ko, si Rafa. Na-invite kami nung, kasi kami Glee Club members. Tapos yung advisor namin doon sa Glee Club, si Sir Nelwin. Parang in-invite kami to sing. Ganyan. And friends na kami ni Rafa noon kasi parang naging close kami kasi sumali kaming dalawa sa student government.
Alright. Anong school to? Like,
SLU Senior High, Baguio.
Baguio. Okay,
Sa
okay.
Baguio. Tapos, ayun, kaming dalawa kasi, like, we do everything together nung grade 12 kami. So, parang sasali siya sa cheer dance, sasali din ako, student government, sasali din ako. So, itong time na to, kakanta kami, we both agreed na parang ayaw namin yung instrumental lang, yung -1. Parang gusto namin live na may gitara, ganito, ganyan. So, meron siyang band nung grade 11, tapos friends pa rin sila nung guitarist, which is yung guitarist namin now. Tapos, nag-recruit na lang kami ng mga kakilala. Hanggang sa nabuo kami. And then, it was supposed to be a one-time thing. Like, performance lang talaga sa event na yon. And then, randomly, after school, while waiting for a friend, nagsulat kami sa harap ng chapel ng school. Wow, very Catholic school. Tapos, ayun, parang nagustuhan namin. So, parang pinitch namin sa band and then graduating na kami nun eh. So, parang sentimental. Gusto naming mag-record for fun na parang remembrance lang na we were able to make a song before we graduated senior high school. And then, nung nilagay namin sa platforms, nagulat kami, lumabas siya sa Baguio. Parang nakarating siya sa iba't ibang province and cities. Tapos yun, parang dun kami nag-start na mag-isip na, uy, parang this might be something. Parang,
Right.
what if try pa natin? So, parang, nung time na nagkaroon kami ng ganong idea, nag-reach out na sa amin ang Viva.
Ooh,
Offered a record deal. Tapos, ayun, two of us decided to give up our Manila dreams.
Mhm.
So, kasi parang we had to stay together.
Correct.
So, parang, actually, as early as first year college, dapat nandito na ako sa Manila.
I think the risk was worth taking kasi
it's worth
ultimately, napunta pa rin kayo ng Manila.
Yeah.
Pero not with the course that you,
Yeah.
but at least it's a life worth living, di ba?
Yes.
So when you came out, so talagang you guys have been there, so grade 12. So how long have you known each other? Like,
7 years.
7 years.
This September.
this September. So probably like around. And then how did you tell them about?
Nung pandemic, na hiwa-hiwalay kami. And then, dun yung sobrang naging mahirap yung communication. So, we had misunderstandings like within the band, internal problems, internal miscommunications. Siguro nga, na parang dun yun na yung biggest fight namin.
Oh.
Parang dahil lang hindi kami magkakasama, nagkaroon ng misunderstandings. During the time na kinailangan na naming magsama-sama to produce an EP, yun na, we talked with each other, naayos namin. Parang sinagad ko na.
Parang every open forum.
Oo, parang kunyari, kung magkakasabihan tayo ng mga katotohanan ngayon, okay, may sasabihin ako sa inyo. Tapos, medyo kinakabahan ako kasi nga, they're all straight.
Right.
They're all straight. Tapos, kinakabahan ako sa maging reception niya. Pero, ang naging unang reaction lang nila, hindi siya, alam naman namin, hindi siya ganun.
Oo.
Parang, niyakap lang nila ako. Parang, sabay-sabay. Parang niyakap lang nila ako. And then, celebrate kami nung araw na yun. And ayun.
Nice. That's so nice. Kasi alam mo, way back nung mga bata, kahit naman ng mga around that age, meron akong mga straight boyfriends eh. Sila yung may mga kabarkada, nasa na kaya sila ngayon? Kamusta na kayo? Ngayon kasi puro bakla na lang ang mga kasama ko eh, tsaka mga trans nene eh. Pero way back, kahit naman nung the friends that I made nung high school, I had like straight friends. And to me, parang I always hold them closest to my heart. Di ko man sila nakikita kasi at the time, especially mga 18, yung mga ganyang age, mga teenager age, medyo talaga, ang hirap trying to find your personality. You're not equipped with the emotional maturity. You're not equipped with experiences yet. So at the time na medyo gulong-gulo ka sa sarili mo, merong mga straight na friends that will not judge you. And it's always good to have that. And it's like a blessing to always have those kinds of people. It could have gone haywire. It could have been, you could have been with the wrong people. Especially banda. Parang, di ba? Parang for me, kasi may stereotype yung mga taga-banda. Parang, di ba? But to have them hug you, support you, and like embrace you, and parang, I would say you're with your people. You found your tribe.
Yeah.
Diba? So, sa Cup of Joe, what's that song that you first wrote?
Nag-iisang muli.
Yan! Sabi na tama eh. Tama yun. Nag-iisang muli.
Tweet mo yun.
Oo.
Kilig na kilig ako.
Ang ganda. So, tell us, what's Gian's process like? You write the songs, you and Rafa.
Yeah, nung una kami ni Rafa, pero ngayon, na siya, collaborative within the five. Natuto na din yung members.
Okay. So, what's your process like pag nagsusulat ka ng,
Sa nag-iisang muli ba or in general?
Sige, actually, that will be good to explore. Paano nyo nasimulan paano nyo natutunan na, kaya pala namin magsulat?
Yung sa nag-iisang muli, medyo, ang funny nung story kasi we were just in front of the chapel waiting for a friend. Tapos parang na-bored kami. Pero during that time, nagko-cover na kami as a band. And then, merong gitara si Rafa nung time na yun. Tapos, parang randomly lang. Alam niyo yung mga parang impromptu songwriting, ganto ganyan. So, parang, kunyari, ide-describe lang yung scenery ngayon. So, andun kami sa harap ng chapel, all glass window, kikita namin yung Baguio trees. Ganyan,
Yes. Very scenic.
Diba?
Oo.
Nag-play siya ng chord and then parang sabi na, sige, describe natin tong nangyayari ngayon. Parang, after class hours na kasi siya, tas wala ng tao, ganyan.
Mm-mm.
So, nag-strum siya, tapos bagyo ang lamig. So, sabi, kay lamig ng simoy ng hangin. Sabi gano'n. Tapos parang, nag-click kami gano'n. Parang, ganda ng ginawa mo Tapos, tinuloy-tuloy na namin.
Mm-mm.
So, parang, nung mga early years namin, ang pinaka main approach namin sa songwriting is imagery. Parang doon nagsa-start. Imagery, and then parang in-infuse namin siya with metaphorical touches.
Right.
Parang malamig yung simoy ng hangin, edi nag-iisa ka, mga ganun.
I love.
Kaya yun. Masaya. And then doon namin na-discover na together, meron kaming nagagawang ganong klaseng magic.
So now, what's the difference now with since collaborative na kayo magsulat? It's like, what's your process like getting into like writing a new song?
So, ngayon kasi parang nagre-reflect din sa catalog namin yung maturity namin when it comes to songwriting, production, tsaka in life in general. Kumbaga, palalim ng palalim Noon kasi parang mas nagsa-start kami sa tono and sa melody, sa sound. Pero ngayon, pag nagsusulat kami, nagsa-start siya talaga sa emotion. So, itong recent album namin, yung Silakbo, ano siya, mostly heartbreak songs siya, na it talks about our pain and healing as a band within those 7 years na magkakasama kami. And kaya rin nagiging maganda yung dynamics namin together kasi nakakasulat ako ng ganitong narrative sa song, and then sinasabi ko yung gusto kong emotion ng song sonically, and then parang since di naman ako ganun ka-talented when it comes to instruments, doon ko na pinapa-carry over sa kanila. So parang mas nagiging siya, mas nagiging collaborative and parang mas cup of joe.
Yeah. So parang it's the other members of the team try to fill in kung ano yung wala yung iba. Like, you supply that amazing vocals. And nag-training ka ba? How did that voice come about?
Na-discover ng parents ko nung 3 years old daw ako. So like,
Mananatili!
Sabi ganun ako, no?
Sabi niya na 3 years old.
As early as 3 years old.
Mananatili!
Mama, nanatili! Yun yung first word ko actually, mananatili.
ang agang bumirit. Pero 3 years old. So talagang...
Yeah, 3 years old. Yung both my parents kasi singers sila.
Oh.
So nag-meet sila. We're in this little barangay sa Villasis called Pulay. Para silang taga doon. Tapos, uso kasi sa mga province yung mga orchestra, di ba? So parang silang dalawa, vocalist sila nung dalawang parang rival orchestra doon sa Tapos parang doon sila nag-meet sa mga parang mga event pag fiesta, ganyan. Tapos ayun, so parang silang singers. And then nung growing up, hindi mawawala yung karaoke sa bahay.
Correct.
So, ayun. Tapos, laging nagpapatugtog, ganyan. Tapos, napapansin na nila as early as 3 years old, lagi ko nang sinasabayan, Celine Dion. Celine Dion. Celine Dion. Yeah, hindi kayo makakalimutan. Ang first song ever na natutunan ko is My Heart Will Go On.
Oh my God! Pang tawag ng tanghalan agad.
Kaya,
habang yung iba, Wilson the Bus yung alam. Yung sa'yo,
My Heart Will Go On yung nursery rhyme ko.
I love. Talaga it's in the genes. Wala. Okay.
Tapos ayun, nung nag-migrate na kami sa Qatar, doon kasi ako lumaki. So, as early as 7 years old, pinilit na ako ng papa kong sumali sa mga singing contest. Ayun, biritero talaga ako noon. Tapos ang mga kantahan ko, Beyonce, Celine Dion, Sarah G. Main pop girl din ako noon.
Tinumba mo yung mga Qatarian. Qatarian? Qatarian. Okay, so from Qatar, kailan kayo bumalik ng Baguio?
Doon ako sa Qatar from 2004 to 2017. Ang tagal.
Okay,
So,
tagal
umuwi lang talaga ako sa Pinas nung senior high na.
Okay.
Kaya yun, nung growing up, lagi ko lang talagang kasama yung mom ko tsaka sister ko. Kasi yung dad ko, busy siya sa work. Ganun. Tapos, ayun, nung umuwi ako sa Pinas for senior high school, naka-encounter ako ng bullying. Hard.
Really?
Yeah, kasi nga parang iba yung culture sa Qatar eh. So parang na-develop doon yung pagiging soft ko, ganito ganyan. Parang wala akong idea sa mga streets. So parang hindi ako nasanay sa ganun. So nung umuwi ako, they saw a soft boy na madaling awayin, ganyan. So parang naging easy target ako. Isa ka pa rin.
Inaway agad. Yeah, so sa Qatar, parang you were cuddled kasi with family and parang
Yes.
you're allowed. Tapos, oo nga, iba nga talaga dito. Lalo na kung
Yeah, culture shock.
province. Sa ano na to, sa SLU.
Yeah, sa Baguio to.
Sa Baguio. Oo, hindi nga sila sanay sa...
So parang hindi nag-work sa kanila yung pagiging active ko sa extracurricular, yung pagiging active ko sa academics, ganito ganyan. So parang, ito ba itong bading na to nakakainis, parang gano'n. So, parang,
I get it. Pero you do give off kasi talaga that soft boy, no? Parang, tabi! Ganyan. Diba? Pero parang it's still not a valid excuse to be bullied. Pero I get why you look like an easy target. But look at the easy target now, bitch. It's like, girl! This one, just ko, yun naman, yung inaaway to, yung aawayin to, pag nakita ko to. Walang hiya kayo! Inaaway yung anak ko!
Galitan. hindi ko re-replyan yung mga shoutout requests yung ngayon.
Wala kayong shout, wala kayong video greet ngayon, naintindihan nyo.
Inbox kayo sa akin.
Scene zone kayo. Hindi. But I think, the universe will always give you what your heart deserves. That's what I always believe. Like, the successful people that I know always have the purest of hearts. You will never find success if you'll always be living in a bitterness and you find joy in the suffering of another person. Your karma, you are your own karma. I mean, that's what karma is. Yung karma, hindi yung pinagdadasal na parang sana mangyari sa'yo. No, you just get what you ask for. So, keep this light, soft boy energy because we love it. And honestly, I'll kung naging kaklase kita, I'll protect you. Kasi parang feeling ko, yung kita nakikita, parang, huwag niyo siya kawayan! Kasi ako, malakas yung personality ko. Kasi dati pa eh. So parang kahit naman nung bata ako, I'm lucky enough not to experience any form of bullying. Kung kailan ako tumanda, ngayon ako na-bully sa social media. Pero, girl, you can't put a good man down. That's what I got to say. So, going back sa songwriting journey mo, no? Have you ever written a song for anyone?
Yes.
Ay! Ano? Tell us about it.
There's this song sa album, it's called Seeping.
Mm-hmm.
Hindi kasi Seeping kasi parang originally hindi kasi parang meron na siyang ibang ano ngayon eh. Ano bang tawag doon? Connotation.
Oo, yung seeping. Kaya nga ako
Seeping parang ano siya.
Correct.
Pero encounter ko yung word na yun nung pandemic. Nung pandemic ko rin to nasulat.
Mm-hmm.
It means to lie down beside.
Tama.
Tama.
To lie down beside.
To lie down beside.
What happens after that?
Yun yung naging
pero
connotation.
I get it. Lie down beside. Okay.
And ayun, parang nung before, wow.
Kinikilig ako.
Kinikilig lang. Like, before pandemic, there's this person na nag-inspire nung kwento na yun. Kasi, di ba nung pandemic talaga na-isolate tayo sa lahat. Tapos, I just got very, parang nagsenti-senti ako isang gabi. Tapos, I know it's very impossible. Kaya, I tried writing about a thing that is impossible. So, ito na naman, yung imagery ng song
Tama.
it's like a once in a blue moon experience. So, parang naglagay ako doon ng elements ng asulang buwan, bulalakaw, like shooting star, anything na parang sobrang rare mangyari. And it's a song about wishing to feel that person's presence kahit isang saglit, kahit hindi na maulit. That's how much you crave for that presence of that person.
Right.
Na parang, kunyari parang mag-isa ko ngayon dito sa grass, sa picnic na latag, ganito. Sa duyan, ganito. Tapos parang, okay lang ba na, alam kong wala na, pero parang kahit isang saglit, kahit hindi na maulit, paramdam mo sa akin yung yakap mo kahit ngayong gabi lang.
Oh. Tingnan nyo, napaka-wholesome yung kayo talaga. Ang dumi ng
Wholesome
utak
yung
nyo.
siping, grabe kayo.
Ang dumi ng utak nyo.
Kahit kayo na nag-react.
Wholesome nung kasiping. Kayo
Wholesome
talaga.
naman.
Grabe kayo mag-isa. Pero oo nga, no? Especially at the time of pandemic na almost, yung mere proximity is almost impossible.
Yeah.
Parang, hindi mo yung mga ganung bagay. Parang Taylor Swift ka nga ng Pilipinas. Yung mga ganung bagay na, ay, naku.
As an
Sulatan nga
overthinker.
ito ng kanta.
Yeah. As an
I love it.
overthinker.
I love it. So, of all the songs that you've written, or so far na nasulat ng Cup of Joe, anong favorite mo?
Ito yung song na super proud ako kasi it's not about romantic love. The song is called Bubog, and it's about finding it very hard to love yourself.
Oh, sure.
So, mic drop. So, Bubog, kasi yung context ng song is you find it very hard to look at yourself in the mirror kasi all you see is a person na sobrang hirap mahalin.
Wow! Why? Why ka like
Nakakaiyak. Pero totoo, every time I talk about this song, sobra ako naiiyak. Naalala ko pa, ito yung pinaka-recent ko rin na nasulat eh. It was just parang second half of 2024. Ito yung time na, ito kaka-out ko lang to sa mom ko.
Right.
And then, parang, ang nangyari kasi sa akin, nung time na na-introduce ko na sa mom ko yung world ko, parang sobrang nag-try hard ako na ipilit sa kanya yung gusto kong klase ng pamumuhay. So parang,
Okay.
ang mali ko doon is I didn't give her the time to process things.
Right.
And then, that resulted to us having a fight, ganto ganyan. Pero, in my mind, I'm the victim. Parang ganun. Parang,
Yes.
lagi akong, parang biniblame ko yung sarili ko madalas. Na-confront ako nung thoughts na, okay, hindi pala niya ako matatanggap.
Oh,
Which is not true. Pero,
Yeah.
ayun, it really affected my mental health in a way na kaya ako nasulat yung Bubog kasi naalala ko nasa ko nito. Tad to ng ganap ng Cup of Joe, and then ito na talaga yung as in burnout na sagad.
Yeah.
And then ayun, eventually I had a fight with my sister too, na siya yung super close ko, and parang super sumama din yung loob ko kasi sa kanya ako pinakaunang nag-out. And then nung times na nag-aaway kami, grabe yung thoughts na wala na akong kakampi and all.
Yeah.
Ganto ganyan. Ayun, so when I was writing Bubog, pinakaunang nasulat ko yung chorus doon. Sabi ko doon, dahil ayaw kong tumingin sa salamin at mapagtantong mahirap ngang tanggapin ang sangtulad kong paulit-ulit na pinipilit maging sapat gawin man ang lahat. Tapos, there goes the question na, kailan kita masisilayan at kakayanang pagmasdan? Don't cry! Magka-cry din ako.
Okay.
And, ayun, parang, it was the hardest song to write, but at the same time, the fastest one. Kasi, it was very transparent. It was very vulnerable. Nilagay ko doon lahat ng hurt ko. And then, yung pinaka last line, as in, dun yung pinaka bang. Ganon. Dun ko na binuhos. Like, sobrang, it's something na hindi ko ma-admit sa sarili ko, pero it's something na, yun yung pinaka sinisigaw ng damdamin ko during that time. So, the last line goes, dahil ayaw kong tumingin, ayaw ko, pagod na akong tumingin at makita ang di ko kayang mahalin.
No. No.
Yeah. Right.
But coming out talaga is one of the hardest things to do. I say this sa mga nanonood, of course, a lot of the kids, always. Minsan nakaka-receive ako ng madalas, maka-receive ako ng mga, when parang, hindi ako tanggap ng nanay ko, hindi ako tanggap ng tatay ko. I didn't have exactly a coming out story, pero medyo coming out, natanggap naman ako ng mga magulang ko bilang bakla, natanggap nila ako may boyfriend, pero hindi nila ako matanggap na nagbibihis babae for drag. So there was also a time na nag-away kami ng nanay ko. And parang for me, I came out at the age of 30. Imagine, buong-buo na ako. Parang buong-buong tao na ako. Ang dami ko na napatunayan. Ang dami ko na nagawang tama. Dahil lang nagdadrag ako, parang hiyang-hiya ka sa akin. And I was like, sa story ko naman na nangyari is like, I came out sa show ni Angel Locsin. So, ang drama nag-come out ako sa parents ko in drag on national television. Tapos parang hiyang-hiya siya sa akin. And tapos, merong follow-up episode. Tapos tinatanong ako nila, Miss Angel, kamusta yung pamilya mo? Hindi ko naman masabi sa nagkasira-sira po yung pamilya namin dahil sa palabas ninyo. What I wanted to say was that, tama ka eh. It's not that they hate you. I felt sad na they lived at a time where the society made them feel that being gay, being soft, being otherwise masculine is something to be embarrassed about. It was not them. It was the society. I cursed the society that made them believe that way. Kasi naintindihan ko yung mga magulang ko na the first thing that they felt when I came out to them was fear. Kasi malupit ang mundo sa mga bakla. And everything else made sense. Everything else, yung mga hindi nila pag-support, yung hindi nila pag-tolerate, I knew that it came from a place of love and fear at the same time. So coming out is a two-way process. Coming out isn't just like dropping the bomb to the people that you love and expect them to shove it down their throats. Natanggapin nyo, ito ako eh. If you want to be understood, you have to understand them, what they had to go through. So coming out is a two-way process. Kailangan tama ka eh, antayin mo rin yung time na maintindihan din nila. They will. And if coming out is done right, and if both parties are coming from a place of love, eventually it will fall in the right place. I think that's what they did. Diba? I mean, eventually my parents have come into terms with me dressing up. Ngayon, kinokolekta pa nila yung mga magazine covers, mga dyaryo. Naku, dala masakit yung dyaryo to. Na nandun sila. They will come into terms. Kasi, yun nga, if you want to be understood for coming out, you have to wait them. It's a two-way process. So, kamusta na yung relationship niyo with your mom?
Okay na kami.
Okay na kayo?
Yeah.
Or are you able to look at yourself in the mirror now?
Yeah, with less hard feelings than before.
Right?
Yeah.
Alam mo nak, in this world, syempre dahil nauna, halos 15 years yung gap ko sa'yo, di ba? What if there's anything that I'm gonna share to you about self-love is that self-worth is something that you give yourself. You earn it for yourself. Madaling sabihin, pero you can have all the accolades, you can have all the admiration of all the fans, of all fans of Cup of Joe, your fans, the friends around you, even your family. But if you don't give that to yourself, none of it would matter. It starts with believing and being, alam mo yun, yung being your own, critical to yourself is good. But it also comes with the responsibility to be your number one cheerleader. You have to fill your own cup before you fill the cup of Joe.
Yeah.
You have to love yourself. It's easier said than done. Pero you don't do that in overnight. You do it by making decisions one step at a time that lead you to, love the person that you are. It starts as simple as pag may sinabi ka, paninindigan mo, your words mean something. You you set your boundaries up. I think this is one very important thing. You have to know your boundaries. You say no to things that don't give value to you, so that your yes will mean something else. You know, you want something more. So there's a lot of process that you need to learn, but you know, you're living a beautiful life. You're surrounded by amazing friends. You have a mom, a family that loves you. You have amazing music. You are a beautiful person, diba? So you will earn those things. I mean, pero piliin mo. Piliin mo yung sarili mo. Everything else will fall into place.
Thank you.
You know, kasi it's heartbreaking to see someone as beautiful like you too, you know, to hear this. But I know it's not to invalidate, and hindi to toxic positivity. It does happen to the best of us. And I'm sure you've been through a lot of hardships in life, here and there. Lots of people that made you feel that you are less than. But choose yourself. And everything, I swear, ang saya-saya ng buhay. And you have to decide it first. Then everything else will follow, I swear. Even the burnout, you would love the burnout if you love yourself. I love my burnout. Actually, kinukulit na nga ako ni Precious magpa-check up. So, na yung burnout namin. But yeah, I thank you for being this vulnerable. Oh my
Thank you.
God, for
Thank you,
opening
Mom.
up like this. Diba?
Thanks,
But you're
Mom.
amazing. Okay. Now, let's go to your relationship naman with drag. How does it feel na make-upan ka ni Kiana?
As a fan of drag, grabe, hindi ako makapaniwala na possible yon.
Why do you love drag?
Tulad nga ng sinabi ko kanina, parang nakikita ko kasi sa drag yung purest passion, kung if I described it the best. Purest passion when it comes to performing. So yun nga, parang nakikita ko rin kasi sa mga drag queens yung puso talaga. Na parang if you're performing on that stage, ang nakukuha kong energy is unbreakable, powerful, ganyan. And nakaka-empower siya sa akin in ways na hindi ko ma-explain. Kaya I really love drag. Like, and hindi ako ma-introduce sa world of drag if hindi pa Filipino franchise.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I mean, kudos to Drag Race.
Yeah, thank you po.
And especially, alam mo, I always say this, iba talaga yung season 1 eh. Hindi dahil sa pero kasi yung season 1, kami yung nagsimula ng drag. We've been doing drag without any expectations na meron palang showbiz career yung drag. Kung yung sinasabi mong passion, purest passion, kung hindi naman pure passion talaga, yung taktakin mo yung sarili mo, magpuyat-puyat ka for a very small TF, yun talaga ang masasabi ko. I operated drag as passion talaga. Passion ng fuel namin doon dahil we don't get a lot out of it before Drag Race. Yung mga Diyos ko, yung paguran talaga, puyatan. So yes, tama. It's passion in its purest form.
Nakaka-inspire. Nalala ko pa, parang merong one time, hindi pa ganito yung estado ng Cup of Joe that time. I randomly went to a drag bar. Tapos parang weekday kasi siya.
Okay.
Tapos parang, ayun, kasi parang I feel happy lagi pag nakakanood ako ng drag queens, ganito, ganyan. And then, those were the times na parang very frustrated pa ako kasi parang I feel like yung mga gusto kong ma-achieve na heights, hindi ko pa na-achieve, ganito, ganyan. So parang, yun yung mga times na lagi akong nag-overthink sa mga shows na baka walang turnout to. So baka mawalan ako ng gana, ganito, ganyan. Then, nanood ako one time. Tapos, weekday, so parang konti lang yung tao.
Yeah.
And then, there were queens na nagpa-perform. All out pa rin. Sobra akong na-inspire na dun tumatak sa isip ko na no matter how big or small the show is, kung passionate ka, ibuhos mo talaga buong puso mo. And sobrang nakaka-inspire yung drag queens sa aspect na yun.
Totoo. Actually, biggest fear pa rin naman yan. Yung mag-perform sa harap ng walang tao. Dati nakapag-perform na ako sa isang bar sa Singapore na 20 lang yung tao, 7 doon kaibigan ko. So parang, my God. But then that's when you realize na when you're a performer, you perform for yourself first.
Yes.
You perform in such a way that kung ikaw yung nanonood sa audience, you want to see that kind of performance. You don't perform for the audience. I think you perform for yourself. Kasi yun ang difference ng entertainer ka lang to an artist. You do it from the heart. What you're sharing is a piece of your soul. So regardless kung 3 lang, 4 lang yung nanonood, basta pag panood ko yung sarili ko, may video ko na panood, gusto ko yung nakita ko. Regardless sa gaano karami yung taong nanonood. So actually, naalala ko, no, my first encounter with, or at least the first encounter that I acknowledge it was Gian was, nung Global Domination, meron nag-meet and greet. Because I know Kenny. Kenny is isa sa mga ano. Like, okay, Ken. So it's like, sino itong kasama niya? Ang ganda naman ng mukha niya to. Like, oh my God, I love your makeup. Ganyan. And then may binulong ka sa akin sa parang, Miss Eva, pagdamutan mo na to kasi last time, parang wala pa akong pang tip sa'yo. Tapos may inabot ka sa akin. It's like, okay, kulay azul. I love it. Tama. And then, yung photographer ko at that time, I was like, alam mo ba na merong isang vocalist ng banda na nasa audience mo ngayon? It's like, what? Sino? It's like, the pretty face. Yeah, si Gian. And then, ever since when I see you in the crowd, it's like, I remember you go to Drag in the South. Talagang you've always been supportive and talagang nanonood ka ng mga drag shows namin. And it was just so funny to recall. Kasi halos parang sabay yung trajectory ng careers natin. 2022, 2021, di ba? And then Drag Race, and then Cup of Joe, and now ang dami nyo ng awards sa Spotify. Millions of people know you. Actually, nung nasa Baguio din ako recently, talagang kahit saan ka lumingon, may naririnig kang kahit sa mga taxi, sa Grab, everywhere, I hear your voice. And it's just amazing.
Pero naalala ko yun talaga. Like, alam ko, era yun ng season 2 ng Drag Race. Yun.
Yes.
And you were hosting watch parties.
Okay.
Tapos yun, talagang dun ako nag-start na mag-explore pa sa drag scene kasi all I know is yung napapanood Drag Race.
Correct.
So parang yun yung time na, okay, gusto ko na rin manood sa mga bar, ganito, ganyan. Tapos sakto, may pa-watch party si Miss Eva Laquin. Okay, let's go sa Nectar. Yes,
So ako pala yun yung walang nanonood.
Hindi.
Walang weekday.
Hindi
Gag.
No, I
Okay.
remember. It was an unforgettable experience.
Aha.
Nag-ano ka nun? Listen na ibang lengguwahe.
Oh.
Mm.
Oo, yeah.
Yun yung sinasabi mo na parang kailangan lumabas tapos babalik sa loob.
Oo.
So, nung palabas kami, you were at the door. Tapos, gusto ko talagang makipag-picture sa'yo. Tapos, nag-abot ako ng 100. Tapos, ayun. Kaya, ginab ko yung opportunity nung may meet and greet ka nung Domination.
Oh my gosh, sakilig.
Kulay blue na. Hindi na purple.
I love it. Pero alam mo, malaki o maliit, I appreciate that. Kasi, hindi naman naka-quantify ng tips yung pagmamahal sa'yo and what it took that person para mag-abot ng to have the courage na iabot yon. In fact, lagi ko na-feel yan yung mga parang nahihiya sila. Parang, no, just give it. Tatanggapin namin yan. Ang skincare yan.
Kiana, alam mo.
Si Kiana
Reklamo siya sa 200.
Makahiya ka, Kiana. So, you've only watched Filipino Drag Race? Hindi ka ba?
Hindi.
Or nakapag-explore ka na sa ibang franchise?
Nakapanood na ako hanggang season 10.
Ay, wow!
Season 9, yeah.
Yeah. Sige, let's start muna sa international. Who's your bias?
My bias.
Biases. So, feel free to...
Biases.
Mga top 3.
Sige, top 3. Magbibigay ako ng top 3. Sasha Velour.
Of course! My God.
At tapos, ito talagang part siya ng top 3 ko kasi parang talagang ito yung first season na napanood ko. Bianca Del Rio.
Oh, okay.
Tapos, gustong-gusto ko yung season nila, Roxy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Roxy.
I love the drama.
Yes.
love
Oh my
her.
God, grabe si Roxy noon. Yung kung kastiguhin niya talaga si Jinx. OA talaga siya noon. OA talaga sila
And
noon.
Jinx.
Ralaska Talks. Ano talaga sila.
Kagat talaga siya.
Tama naman. Sa local, sa Filipino franchise naman.
Evil Queen.
Grabe ka! Baka masira. Hello, Mic Test. Pakitang gilas masyado eh.
Ano lang,
Okay.
mga top 2 favorites ko per season.
Yeah, sige.
Season 1, Eva and Marina talaga. Yeah. Kaya super happy ako na naging top 4 ka.
I feel good. Nalig yan? Okay, go.
Sa season 2, gusto ko talaga si Jade.
Yes.
Si Jade, tsaka si Hanabeshi.
Yes.
Yeah, tapos sa season 3, si Kiana and Versex.
Versex.
Mahilig ako sa drama, hindi ko alam kung bakit.
Si Judy Ann.
Judy Ann.
Saka oo nga, sa bagay. Oo.
Pero kita ko kasi like in a span of 3 episodes, 4 episodes, yung character development niya.
Oo.
Love her.
Actually, I love Ver. Recently lang ako madalas nakatrabaho si Ver. Ngayon ang tawag niya sa akin, boss. Kaya love ko na siya. Hindi. Ano kasi si Ver, once you get to know her, bakla. If you get to talk to her and listen to her past that, like, I love her too. Kiana, of course. Kiana, talent, heart, everything. Ganyan. Hannah Jade, yes. And Marina. Kung magda-drag ka, well, nakita na natin ng Gianna with a G. Pero kasi more like Kiana's version in Gian's body.
Naka-template siya kay
Yeah.
Kiana.
Someone nakikita mas malapit yung aesthetic mo.
Sa mga local drag queens.
Yeah.
Mm.
Or describe na lang
Marina.
what kind of queen will Gian be kung drag queen siya.
Oh.
Diba?
Parang siguro a mixture of Marina
Mm-hmm.
and Hanabeshi. If that makes sense.
Okay. Which part of Marina will you keep? And
Okay.
which part of Hannah
So
do you
parang
want to
I feel
have?
like I have Marina's plakado looks and
Yeah.
performance level
Okay.
with Hanabeshi's campiness.
Ayaw mo nung leeg ni Hannah Beshi.
Pag-isipan ko ba kung bagay sa aesthetic? May nagba-Beyonce ako.
Perfect lahat. Tapos yung leg mo, Hannah Beshi.
Ayun na nga po.
Kamusta po?
Tawang-tawa ako doon. Sa Jessica Soho niya na Mickey Mouse.
Oh my God. Napanood mo ba yung Snatch Game?
Yung mga clips lang.
Panood ko sa'yo yung full. With everything that you've accomplished right now, ano pa yung mga pangarap ni Gian? Or do you have any dreams outside of Cup of Joe that you want to pursue for yourself?
Nung mga times kasi na parang nagka-break ang Cup of Joe, nag-try din, I entered acting then.
Ooh.
So parang, I want to have a project ulit sa acting in one of these days. Just to see kung anong mangyayari. And then, on a more personal level, I'm really doing my best to create my own personal space talaga.
Like, your own space.
home.
Parang ganito.
Yeah, parang ganito.
Tapos
Gusto ko
mag-vlog.
ng ganito.
Gagawa ka rin ng
Hindi,
Gusto
kasi
mo
ngayon,
maging border ka dun sa kabilang room.
sa stock room. Hindi, kasi ngayon parang talagang everyday may kasama ako. Yung parang,
So you guys live in one place?
yeah, we live
like,
together.
all members of COJ.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ang gulo!
Ang gulo nga. Pero masaya naman. Pero like,
Oo.
ngayon kasi parang dahil lagi akong may kasama, feeling ko nahihirapan ako maging masaya pag ako mag-isa. Parang gano'n. Parang
Kasi,
gusto ko ma-experience maging mag-isa.
yeah, kasi you can't
at this
identify any other moment na hindi sila kasama eh. Alam mo, maganda yan. Nasa isang condo lang kayo. Condo tower. Pero iba-iba kayo ng
Yeah.
units.
Ako yung gano'n.
Diba? Alam mo, ako I highly encourage anyone at their mid-20s to live on your own. Kasi that will set the pace on how you will look at life in general. Kasi when you live alone, you start to encounter problems na ikaw lang yung gumawa, ikaw lang din yung makakaayos. And when you get full control of how you want this particular thing na ganyan lang siya. Hindi siya gagalawin ng ibang tao. Like, nandito yung carpet ko, ganito yung lighting na gusto ko. It really puts you in a very powerful position to be in the steering wheel of your life.
Yeah.
So I highly, highly recommend talaga. Live alone. If you're in your mid-20s, it will set the pace in your life. So, I manifest that for you.
Ako din.
Right.
Hi, IKEA.
Oo, kaya pakirin si Naxio. Oo
Sige
naman.
naman.
I think a burning question for a lot of fans would want to know is, kamusta kaya yung puso ni Gian?
Musta ka, Charot? I'm single, happily single. Ayun kasi parang after the shit that 2024 has been sa akin, parang I don't think I'll commit pa anytime soon kasi I'm still trying to gain that self-peace, self-love na gusto ko and kailangan ko. Yun pa rin so far.
But have you ever been in a relationship?
Yeah.
Anong feeling na magkaroon ng jowa ng singer-songwriter? Like, can you write love songs for me? Parang, that kind of thing. It's like,
Parang, yeah.
what do you think, like, parang, in your perspective, paano kang maging partner?
So far, feeling ko, ang hirap kong maging partner kasi, I mean, ako kasi, as someone na very ambitious and all, ang pinakaunang priority ko lagi career ko. So parang
Anak nga kita.
So parang if that partner does not recognize that thing about you, may hirapan kayong mag-work kasi nga, for example, I'd come home from a very exhausting gig ganito, and then I want time to rest, pero you'd demand something from me, wala na akong kayang ibuhos pa during that day. Parang, tapos you'd take that against me. Parang, I don't know. Parang isa yun sa mga nagiging problems and all. Pero ayun talaga, sorry. Career kasi talaga number one sa akin.
I mean,
sorry not sorry pala.
I mean, totoo naman. I mean, I get it. Totally. Same. Yan din ang yung ganyan-ganyan ako. At the age of 38, hindi ako nagmamadali.
Yeah.
Maganda ako. Pero yes, alam mo yun, parang more than just, you are at the peak, talagang paangat. Wala ka pa nga sa peak eh. Talagang you are at talagang tuloy-tuloy yung bugso ng career mo eh. Mahirap magkaroon ng partner kasi feeling mo anything that would hold you back from that momentum. Kung ikaw yung partner mo, kaya mo bang palitan to? It's like, if I would have to hold back just to hold space for you, are you worth it? Kaya mo bang panindigan yun? I think more than for you, mas malaking pressure yun dun sa tao na parang, kaya mo bang panindigan yung mga opportunities na mawawala sa akin, yung mga time that I will spend with you, rather than me working on my dream going there, that gap. Are you in it? To win it, di ba? Yeah. Parang mahirap talaga siya. And then on top of that, you are in a journey you just recently came out, you're trying to, you're on your path, a very sacred path to self-love and healing and self-discovery. Parang to tie yourself down with anyone is also to impose that responsibility on that other person to care for you, diba? Na parang medyo marami ang complications to be in a relationship. But this is also a very beautiful thing that you are that self-aware. Yeah. Alam mo na, kasi tendencies are, limbawa, if you feel any nalungkot ka or anything, you would want to find someone, diba? But you know, you understand and you're firm on that. Tama naman. Alam mo, I remember this because, of course, everybody already knows I was with Global All Stars, and one of my BFFs inside were Alyssa Edwards. Alyssa Edwards had her partner at the age of 40. They're together at 43. And then, at the age of 40, sabi niya, parang ayoko ng Tagalog. Nagtagalog.
Tagalog.
You know what? I'm already Alyssa Edwards. So, anyone who wants to take part in my life, sabi niya sa akin, these are the exact words. I don't settle down. I partner up. I don't settle down. I partner up. So, once you reach a level of self-actualization and self-love and you've done all the work, it will be very hard for you to just settle for anyone. You will need to find someone that will meet you there. Diba? O ngayon, pamantayan ko rin siya. Ngayon, naghahanap na ako ng Latino. Kasi Latino yung jowa ni Alisa. No, but yeah, it's like parang, yun din yung paninindigan ko. Everything else is just cheap. Words are cheap. Done na ako sa mga kilig na moments. But I need someone who understands. I'm a queen looking for a king. Yan yung, yung Bumble and Tinder profile ko. A queen for a king. But, someone needs to understand it. And syempre, I did not do all this work for myself just to be treated any less. And that doesn't mean that you're prude or you're mayabang or anything. It's just you understand your value. And that's how you learn your self-worth.
Wow.
Yeah. So yung manliligaw sa Nakshi ko. Before I wrap this up, I always ask my guests, knowing what you already know now, diba? After the success of Cup of Joe, your coming out story, your journey right now, what would you have told your younger self?
I think yung nagiging common denominator kasi ng mga experience ko is trying to please everyone. Kasi like, I grew up na parang, dapat pala ganito, ganyan. Pero if ever makausap ko yung younger Gian, si Edgar. Yun kasi tawag sa akin talaga, no? Nag-rebrand lang ako nung umuwi ako ng Pinas. Wala lang. Pop girl things.
But hindi na lang edgy.
Edgy.
Edgar.
Or EG.
Edgar
EG
to
from the Middle East.
Correct.
Ang validation lang na kailangan mo is from yourself. Yes. Basing din sa lahat ng natutunan ko from Mama Eva. All you have to learn first and foremost is to love yourself first. And ayun, everything will follow. Kasi hindi mo kailangan pilitin yung mga bagay kasi the universe will grant you what you ask for.
Tama. The universe will conspire that.
Yeah.
And I wish you that. I wish you that resolve and purpose and intention to always choose yourself first and foremost. Yung cup of Joe, dapat cup of Gian muna. Diba? Parang always feel that cup and then you will be in a position to give more to others. Lalo na yung nasa mata ka ng publiko, yung nasa mata ka ng mga fans who always demand so much of you, your time. You have to hold space for Edgar first and foremost. So, I wish you the best and we will all be rooting for you. Tama!
Thanks,
We love Cup of Joe. We love you, Gian.
I love you.
And then you should love you. All right?
Yes. I love you. Thanks you.
Yes. Oh my God. What a beautiful, beautiful episode with such a beautiful guest. So again, guys, if you like this episode, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And mag-subscribe kayo. Mga bakla kayo, nanonood lang kayo. Ang dami kong views, yung subscribers ko, hindi pantay. Nood kayo ng nood, hindi niyo ako pina-follow. Sino-subscribe, ano kayo? Anyway, nasa na nga ba ako? Yes. Like, share, and subscribe. And tap that notification bell to be updated on the next episodes. But until then, thank you so much. This has been Eva La Queen, Gian, and we'll see you at the next episode. Bye!
Yay!
Oh,
Thank you! Oh my God!
That
I
was
needed that.
nice.